3, 2, 1. Action! Action. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Cockpit Convos. Your captain speaking, Jeff Britton. I'm happy today to introduce the world of aviation to Jill Chicowicz.
Good job.
Said that right?
Chicowicz,
I said it right. Fantastic. And by the way, Jill is the award-winning longest distance Cockpit Convos.
Yeah.
You are, all the way from Richmond.
So far.
All the way from Richmond, right?
Yeah.
So the big city, the capital city.
That's right.
But hey, we're glad you're tuning in today and had the opportunity to come across Jill. Actually, you reached out to me. It was interesting how the power of social media.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I've never met you before today
No.
until this. So I think we got mutual friends that kind of connected it up. And
Yeah, it was on Instagram.
Instagram, man.
Yep.
Yeah, shout out to my Instagram, my social media person, Crystal Hilliard, for taking care of business for us. But no, I'm excited to have you up here today and hear more about you. And she's got a great story that she, a great cause, and a great passion from a tragic story, and that many of my audience might have suffered from too. Right? It's a tough situation.
That's right.
It's a big pandemic or epidemic in our country these days. And so before we get into that, why don't you give us the Jill story? Why don't you take us back to as far as you want to go back?
Gosh, okay.
Tell more about you.
I'm Jill Chicowicz.
Okay. Wow.
So I am one of 5 kids. I'm an Army brat. I grew up in a really awesome household. 3 brothers, 1 sister. A twin brother, Scott. My dad was a helicopter pilot. So we were military. We moved all around and had kind of an exciting childhood. My parents used to take us to Puerto Rico and we'd jump on a military hop, and always exciting. And then my dad retired when I was in high school in Richmond. He was stationed at Fort Lee.
Okay.
I went to VCU. Then I met my husband, who's in the Army, and moved right back down to Fort Bragg and became an Army wife.
And now, what are the odds now was having an Army spouse attractive to you because you grew up in the Army and grew up in the military?
Yeah, I think when you come from that, you either go directly for it or go far away from it.
Okay.
I essentially married my dad.
Okay. All right, well, that's cool.
Same kind of man. Yeah.
Same kind of man. That's good, tough guy, Army guy.
Yep.
So now, what's your husband do in the Army?
So he's retired now, but he served 25 years.
Awesome.
So he is a little older than I am. He's about 8 years older. I caught him on the middle of his career.
Okay.
So for the first 10 years, he was infantry. He was a sniper.
Oh, wow.
And then he became a logistics officer, actually with the Aviation Brigade.
Oh, really?
Fort Drum, 10th Cab.
Okay.
So he retired. He's also a competitive long shot shooter and does 1,000-yard ranges and competitions. He's a national champion, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, the moral of that story is nobody messed with Jill.
No, I know.
You're just not going to know it one day. You're going to get up, jump the boogeyman.
That's what my friends say. You're going to have a red light on your forehead and not even know where it's coming from.
That's true. I mean, I'd have him up here someday. That'd be a lot of fun to.
Oh, you'd love to meet
Mark.
He's a cool guy. He'd love to meet you too, I'm sure.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. So does he still actively shoot?
He does. I will say he kind of took, so he shoots for the Virginia Rifle Team.
Okay.
He took a little hiatus this year because our son, being a rising senior and wanting to play college ball for football, we both are deciding to focus on him. He's also applying to service academies.
Okay.
So it just takes a lot of our time.
Yeah.
But he'll get back to it. It's a passion of his.
Okay. That's awesome. So you got 2 sons.
I do. So I have Carter, who's 17, and Christian, who's 14.
And they both play football, which is why you're down here today, kind of, right?
You got a little football jamboree,
Football jamboree. You learned a little bit about that, getting to know you some too about that. Our kids, they only played competitive tennis, and so we missed out on the baseball travel stuff, the football travel stuff, any of that stuff.
But they both play basketball. They're both 6'4" and 6'3".
Oh my gosh!
They're really tall kids.
Is your husband tall too?
6 feet, and I'm 5'9". I'm pretty tall, but my youngest is supposed to be 6'6" when he's done growing.
Oh my!
Got another growth spurt, they said.
Wow!
We're trying to keep him active in sports.
Wow! I bet. Now I've got my sister's 6 foot tall, and my brother-in-law's 8 foot tall. I'm sorry, 6'8". Let me get that right. 6'8".
No, he's not. Really?
He's 6'8". They played in college basketball in Hickory, North Carolina.
Okay.
Where I'm from. And their daughters, Emma Grace and Chloe, I'm probably going to get it wrong, but I think Emma Grace is 6'2", and Chloe's 6'2.5", and has another 1.5 inches of growth in her plates.
That's
so
awesome.
they both play competitive college volleyball.
Heck yeah, they should.
Yeah,
Good for them.
Well, one played college. The other one's only 14, and she's 6'2.5" or 6 whatever she is.
Because she's young. She's tall at 14.
Dang right, man.
Yeah.
Big old family there.
We grow them big, don't we?
Well, they do. I did. My kids they're normal 5'10", 5'11" kids.
They're the good regular average height.
Yeah,
good.
exactly.
Yeah.
So then what did you do for work? Or you just
So ironically, I went to school to be PR and marketing.
Okay.
I was actually going to go work for Channel 12 News after I graduated.
Okay.
I wanted to get into journalism, news, broadcasting, things like that. And I decided to be a flight attendant for a year and a half or
That's
2
exciting.
years. I went to Europe with my friends that summer. I really wanted to be footloose and fancy free. Then I met my husband, and so he did his first tour in Iraq in 2004 when I met him.
Okay.
And then when he came back, he wanted me to move to Bragg and get married. So I became a stay-at-home mom and Army wife.
Wow.
But he was a commander, so a lot of the military wives, the officers' wives,
Right.
we're very active in
Okay.
Spouses Club. I was a FRG leader, a lot of leadership roles with him.
Okay. Awesome. So the what was the funnest flight attendant story you got? Anything
Oh my
exciting?
God, I'd have to tell you when we're not filming.
Okay. Okay. Was there a clean one you could tell me? Like, you ever had like emergency situations or anything like that?
Yeah, well, I will tell you, my first flight, so I worked the smaller jets, so there are 50 passengers, and so you're the only flight attendant. And I will say, on one of my first flights, I did have someone have a miscarriage.
Oh no.
So I will say, I have so much respect for flight attendants.
Right.
You don't realize the amount of training, hazmat, anti-terrorism, things like that you have to do to be prepared to be on a flight. So it's not about getting pretzels and Cokes. They have to be right. Like my girlfriend, her first flight, a man had a heart attack. She had to pull out the AED machine on her very first flight.
Dang, man.
So, but I do feel prepared in an emergency situation. That's the good news.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, on TikTok and on Instagram now, you see all these people getting in fights and stuff on planes. Now you got to be a bodyguard on there.
I will tell you, back then when I did it, it was so PC. Like because I had flight benefits,
Right.
my friends and I would just jump on a jump seat and go up to New York
Oh, cool.
for the night.
Right.
And I had free flight benefits. My parents traveled. I really think times were so much easier back then.
Yeah.
You just go to the airport in your uniform and just jump on a flight. So much harder now.
So crazy.
Yeah.
Do you miss it?
I do. I actually was really good at it.
Yeah?
Yeah. I like people and I like to travel, so it worked out well. But I would do 4 to 6 flights a day sometimes on 4-day trips.
Wow.
It got to be really taxing.
Yeah.
Definitely a younger person's thing. Nothing against
I would
someone
think so.
doing it older, but
Yeah.
traveling in general is exhausting, and then working.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we used to go to like Niagara Falls, and I got to do
wow.
overnight in Chicago. I had really cool trips.
Oh, that'd be
I
fun.
made some really good friends too.
Yeah. My buddies asked me when I'm flying if I want to ever do the commercial thing. Now, for the non-pilot people out there,
Yeah.
getting your commercial license is easy. That's next for me, but that doesn't mean you're an airline pilot. So there's a whole nother level to airline.
Yeah.
So when I say I'm a commercial pilot or trying to be a commercial pilot, like, oh, you want to fly the airlines? Like, no,
Yeah.
no, I just want to pay to get fly to get paid. Paid to fly. That's what I
Paid
mean
to
by that.
fly,
To
yeah.
fly. And but I have no desire to fly
Yeah.
for the airlines.
I
The
was offered-
delays and the
yeah.
hustle and the bustle and the
No,
sitting around and the
It's exhausting, and like as a flight attendant, you have a union.
Uh-huh.
You don't get paid till you're in the air.
Yeah.
So when you're sitting on the tarmac for 3 hours, nobody's getting paid, and you're still working.
I'm not getting paid.
No,
Yeah.
nobody is.
If the engines aren't running, you're not getting
Yeah.
paid, man.
I was offered a corporate flight attendant job where you were assigned to someone on a smaller private jet,
Okay.
where you get great money, but you have no control over your schedule.
Oh, right.
And I mean, if they call you Christmas morning and want to go to Vegas,
You're going
you
to
got-
Vegas.
Yeah,
Giddy
yeah.
up.
But you're making over 6 figures, which is nice. It just a lot of work.
Yeah, a lot of work.
Not worth it for me.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you've had a fun upbringing, got a great family.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
don't mess around with Jill, you'll get shot.
Yeah. Well, 3 brothers too. I mean, you
Oh,
know, it
that's
was bound
true.
to happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
somebody's going to take care of you.
Yeah. So I basically got married, and my husband did. He did 12 to 18 months of deployments with me.
Right.
So I was home with my kids alone. So it didn't allow me time to work or do anything outside the home. But I was very hands-on with my boys.
Cool.
And then he retired. I wanted to come back to Richmond. My parents are in Midlothian, and I wanted to be near my family again. And so he brought us back home,
All right.
and he retired. And then I felt like my life was finally coming together. My husband was out of a war zone. My
Right.
parents were close by. My kids were thriving. And then unfortunately, I lost my twin brother Scott to fentanyl poisoning in 2017.
Which is the reason we're here today.
It's the reason we're here today. And he lived in California. He ran gyms, really physically fit, looked great on Facebook, and
Okay.
everything was really good. But there was a lot of underlying history of trauma.
Okay.
And what I tell people is, even though we had a very idyllic childhood, my dad was pretty tough on us. You know, my dad's Vietnam survivor,
Understood.
magistrate, cop, helicopter pilot, and police officer. And he kind of ran a tight ship. My twin brother was always a little, I would say he was probably undiagnosed ADHD.
Okay.
But in the 80s, you know, we didn't even wear seatbelts, let alone talk about
just pay attention,
health.
kid.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, nobody cared.
Right.
And he was a boy being a boy, so never thought about it. But I think he didn't really take to my dad's parenting so much. We got into high school. He had a girlfriend that was killed in a car accident.
Oh, man.
She was a foreign exchange student from Brazil. And he had like gone out with friends. My mom wanted him to take a break, thought they were too hot and heavy. And so she was on the way to our house to see him because she thought he was breaking up with her, and she was killed on the way to our house.
Oh my gosh, man.
So I know it's super sad, but what I tell people is the trauma. You know, he didn't get counseling. He didn't talk about it. A lot of males don't talk about it.
We don't. We internalize everything, man.
And you just say, I'm a man, I can, you know, do this. And he didn't get any counseling. He started smoking weed.
Okay.
So that was his coping mechanism. And I tell everybody the weed that we had in high school is nothing like what we have today. The THC levels are so much higher.
Okay.
So they're causing so many more problems mentally for youth. Schizophrenia, depression, suicidal ideations. So
I would think it would increase. I would think it would increase addiction levels too,
very
faster
much so.
because
Very
you get
much so.
higher doses and stuff.
Right, because before it was like 4% THC levels. Now it's genetically modified, and it's not even a brain that's developing can't handle it.
Right.
And so that's why you're seeing an increase in suicide, depression, ADHD, all these things that are happening to kids, there's an intake because of that.
Yeah, I mean they say marijuana was the gateway drug, or maybe it still is.
It is, and when someone says it's not addictive, there's a dependency on it, and the problem is you also can't stay on it for so long without wanting something harder.
And what year was this when you think he started smoking weed?
When Scott passed away.
No, when he started smoking weed. I mean.
We were in high school. It was 1994.
Okay.
And we graduated in 1996. And so he did start college with me for about 2 years, and then he decided he wanted to go to LA. My older brother Brett lives out there, and he has a real estate business and does really, really well. And so Scott was like, man, I want to do that too. You know, forget school. I don't want to stay here. We always said he was like our free bird. You could never cage him. You could never make him conform. He wanted to just be on his own and fly. No pun intended.
Yeah.
But after that, he moved to LA, started running gyms, dating 20-year-old models, going to Vegas, doing really well. The problem is he never stopped using drugs. So now he's just doing harder drugs. You know, cocaine, ecstasy, kind of the night scene in LA is.
Now, did you know he was doing this at this time?
So I will tell you, I am going to plead a little ignorant because we did know he was partying a little bit.
Right.
But it was also the LA lifestyle, and I hate saying that. It's just a different world out there. But he was also really successful and really like holding down a good job, and the day-to-day he was doing fine. So we kind of chalked it up as recreational. Again, you should never accept somebody using drugs, but it didn't truly interfere with his life. And he was still working out and, you know, close to all of us. It wasn't until 2014 he got a back injury.
Okay.
He was put on Oxycontin through workers' compensation. And I tell everybody, it woke a beast. It was nothing I had ever seen. We were stationed in Fort Drum at the time, and I remember he came to see me. He came to every duty station when my husband was gone. And I didn't realize it at the time, but he had run out of his medicine. So he was in withdrawal. And we'd had a blizzard. He couldn't fly out. And he was like so erratic.
Right.
I didn't even know who he was.
Oh, my.
And once my friend took him to pick up his prescription, the weather was really bad, he was completely normal. He shoveled my driveway. He watched a movie with my kids, ate dinner with us.
After taking the medicine?
Yeah. So now I understand, because I'm educated now, I understand that he was going through withdrawal. And once you start, you know, needing that, you have a lot of symptoms. I mean, you start sweating. It's like the flu times 100.
Sure.
And so once I realized that was an issue, now we were starting to be worried as a family. But again, he assured us he was fine until we started really seeing side effects, losing jobs, not answering us, calling me, asking me what day it was. It was literally 2 days later. I'm doing wellness checks at his apartment. He had a corporate apartment. I was always really worried about him, but I thought he was invincible, you know. And so basically February 28th, 2017, Costco pharmacist says, you have 4 prescriptions for 90 pills being filled here a week. Cuts him off. Now, if you know anyone that's fully dependent on an opioid, you can't just cut them off.
Right.
You wean them. And so he had 2 doctors writing prescriptions and 2 pain management clinics. So it was very crooked what was happening. And I guess the Costco pharmacist did the right thing by saying you shouldn't be on this.
Right.
However, he gave him no other course of action. Like, you should get, step down. You can't just take somebody off. So he turned to a friend, and I tell everyone in schools, this is not a friend, it's a drug dealer.
All right.
He asked him for an Oxycontin. Friend gave him one. He literally, I have the text message, I show it in my presentations. He literally sends an article to the friend about fakes starting to come out. So this is 2017. Nobody talked about fentanyl. Nobody talked about it only takes one pill kills.
Really?
So his friend said, I hear it works. And so we have a full account of how it went down. It's really hard to talk about, but he went into a Starbucks, and it was an outdoor shopping center. It was like 6:45, 6:30 at night. There was a Trader Joe's, a fish market. People were eating dinner outside. A very nice evening. My mom happened to call him, and I always say nothing against dads, but that maternal instinct, something was wrong.
Yeah.
And she said he answered, and he sounded really, really low, and he said, I got to call you right back. And so then he walked outside, opened the door to his car, put the coffee on the roof of the car, and he literally dropped to one knee. Sorry, it's hard. It's hard to talk about that one. So he stayed kneeling for 20 minutes while no one helped him.
Oh my God.
And that's the thing that bothers me the most is like, when did we become where we don't care about each other? So everybody walked past him for 20 minutes, and he's kneeling down, and finally he started making, they say like your agonal breathing. It sounds like a snore when you overdose.
Right.
So somebody tapped him on the shoulder. He's a big guy, really fit, and he just collapsed, and he was blue and foaming at the mouth, and he had suffocated from fentanyl toxicity in a Starbucks parking lot.
I mean,
it's crazy. It's absurd, right? Like, you think when you hear about someone dying of fentanyl, and you think, oh, it's that guy under the bridge, or it's that guy alone in his apartment shooting up.
Right.
One way is not better than the other. You're still losing your life. But it's not what you think it is. And then they called 911, and it was too late. It had been too long without oxygen, and he lost his life in Starbucks parking lot.
So it was literally one pill.
Literally. And I will tell you, Jeff, right when it happens, we didn't talk about it for a while, and then news traveled that he had passed, and all these people were finding me on social media. So after about 2 weeks, we had told everybody it was a heart attack. That's what we were told. Autopsy took a long time to come back, but we figured it was contributed by drugs. We just didn't know. So we made a statement saying he lost his life, from some sort of drug use. We were very open about it, but I got a lot of heat because people didn't believe at that time one pill could kill you. Now you know. Now you know it's a grain of salt. But at the time, people were like, she's not being honest. She's hiding, the truth. And now we know so much better. But at the time, I didn't even know what fentanyl was.
Right.
I had to Google it. I thought it was a sleep aid.
Well, I don't know what it is.
Right, exactly. It's a synthetic opioid. But what I tell kids in schools, like, there's a real reason for fentanyl. And I say the F word, and they all go, and I said, fentanyl in a hospital is used for real chronic problems, like out of surgery, car accidents. It's a short-term one, but it takes away all the pain.
With the correct amount of dosage, of course.
Yes, by a doctor who's giving it to you in But we're talking about these synthetic pills that are being pressed by amateurs that don't know what they're doing.
Or cartels in Mexico or whatever.
Yes. So needless to say, this, it destroyed me.
Sure.
It's been 8 years, and I can honestly tell you, I've cried every single morning and every single night for 8 years now. I know. It is almost like a ritual, like a routine.
Right.
It's just a way to get it out, and so I can keep doing what I do for him.
Yeah. We'll talk about what you do for him.
So I have a nonprofit I started.
Okay.
So it began with an annual event called A Night for Scott.
Okay.
I started that the February after he passed. Just wanted to raise awareness, raise money for those who couldn't afford treatment for addiction, and keep his memory alive. And then after that, it was supposed to be a one and done. It wasn't supposed to be more than that. Everybody wanted me to keep doing it. So every year I kept doing it and donating all the funds. Shin Foundation in Richmond.
Okay.
And then after 4 years, I decided I wanted to start my own nonprofit called 2 End the Stigma.
Okay.
That's the numeric number 2.
Right.
And I wanted to do schools on education, prevention, and trauma and get to the root of the source before you go down 20 years of pain and drugs and alcohol. And so it started our golf tournament, Fairways for Scott,
Okay.
which is coming up October 23rd. Then that came our community day, Save a Life for Scott, and all the other events we started doing have been in honor for Scott for 2 End the Stigma.
That's awesome. And I hope you're getting a lot of support.
So I will say I am really lucky. I serve on Governor Youngkin's Virginia Addiction Recovery Council.
Awesome.
I also serve on the It Only Takes One with the First Lady Suzanne Youngkin.
Wow.
And I work with the U.S. Attorney's Office and the DEA. It's opened a lot of doors and start partnering with people, especially legislation. I've gone in front of Congress, hoping to get to the White House. I tell everybody, politics aside, this is a bipartisan issue.
Yeah.
And we need
it's a national epidemic.
It's a national epidemic. And I don't think people realize just how scary it is and how many affected people are in this country.
So I mean, I'm just rewind to that moment when he got that pill from that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, does everybody that guy gives a pill to die?
So it's ironic you bring it up. That man has never been charged, even though we turned his information over to the police and the DEA.
Right.
I've been told he is still in California doing it today.
Wow.
So can you imagine how many people have died since then?
Yeah. I mean, I know the current administration is working their tail off to cut down the fentanyl importation process.
Yeah, I will say, again, I don't want to get too political because I tell everybody I'm not left, I'm not right, I'm for the human type.
Right.
But what's been happening these last 8 years, we're not doing enough. We're not watching it enough across the border. We're not vetting enough. And I think we're now starting to do more.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, they should do it for all the drugs in general, but especially fentanyl.
Right.
So then what about, like, what's the best way for people to find out about your nonprofit?
So if you look up 2 End the Stigma, again, the number 2, the numeric number 2, if you look up A Night for Scott, you're going to find Jill Chicowicz. You're going to find something in Richmond.
Okay.
We have a lot. I'm really blessed. We have a lot of media with Channel 8's our corporate sponsor.
Okay.
Richmond Times is a corporate sponsor. A lot of local sports teams.
Oh, that's
like
nice.
The Richmond Kickers, Tri-City Chili Peppers.
Cool.
Flying Squirrels. They're all at our events, and they support us.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm really, really proud of the work we've done.
How much do you think you've contributed to the cause and since you've launched this thing?
So I know the first 4 years we raised $150,000 and gave it away.
That's awesome.
I know most of our events raise between $100,000 and $150,000.
Awesome.
We started working with the Chesterfield Recovery Academy. People don't realize we have a high school in Richmond that's for children in recovery. It's the first in the state. We have 3 more opening: Virginia Beach, Loudoun County, and Waynesboro.
Now tell me, what does that mean?
So what it is, it's for children that have already unfortunately battled addiction. They've already gone through rehab.
Under 18?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're in high school. Yeah. They're as young as 14.
Wow.
This is a school to reacclimate them back into their home school.
Okay.
So there's heavy clinicians and training, counseling, and it gets them back on their feet to go back to their home school.
Okay.
But should they want to stay there, they can actually graduate. Their diploma will show their home school. So they can still participate in school events, and they just get a little more extra attention.
Right.
And counseling and the help they need.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And how long has that been going on?
So the one in Richmond, so it's in Chesterfield where I live. This is their, I think, 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, so they have 3 more schools opening because they have the need for it.
I can't believe that. We've got kids in high school that need addiction recovery.